This is Matt Lesniewski, and you're listening to 11 O'Clock Comics.
Piece of pizza.
Oh my God, it's Thursday.
It's a wonderful day.
Well, it is now.
Well, full of comics and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a good weekend, too.
Why? What's this weekend?
Superman.
Oh.
I want to see it tomorrow night.
Good for you.
Can't wait.
That's nice.
It is?
I'll wait till it streams. Or not.
I expected nothing less or more.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's 11 O'Clock Comics, episode 990. And I'm Vince
10
B.
left.
10 left. Just right.
That's it.
1 to 10, of which this is 1.
And the way you've been today, I mean, we'd be lucky if we get
reals.
to 10.
You're right. It's true.
Molly Crabapple.
You are Vince B. I am David A. Price.
That is facts. And, of course, I am the one, the only, Idris Elba.
How dare you do that to the Dark Tower? Why did you make that movie?
Dude, he hurt my heart this week. He hurt my heart.
Okay.
What did he say this week?
You're not Idris Elba, but what did he just say?
He, in a podcast I listened to, he said he's never seen a single minute of The Wire.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Well,
I thought
what do Idris Elba and I have in common? That we've never seen a single...
Okay, well, that's an absolute travesty on your part. But more importantly, I mean, I just don't understand how he didn't watch the show that made him who he is. And that's crazy to me. I don't understand that. I understand he filmed it, but he only filmed a part of it. He knows what happened in his scenes. But he didn't want to see how it all tied together. His arc. Nope. It's crazy. It's the greatest television show of all time, and he didn't watch it. I'm baffled.
It's not the greatest television show of all time, but it's really not. It's not. It's not.
Don't hold a candle to the
widely considered, but you're allowed to differ.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Do you want to get your books cheap? Do you want to pay less for your OGNs, your trade paperbacks, your omnibus editions, manga and art books and all that stuff? Where do you go? Well, you go to cheapgraphicnovels.com. They have all that stuff and more. Too much, actually. It's daunting to plow through the listings of all of the stuff that they have available because you end up spending more money than you want to. But I can make it easier on you because you're gonna buy something. If it's your first time, be gentle on yourself. Buy something, maybe one, maybe two things, and then Max is going to send you an email confirmation for that order. And you're going to reply to that email confirmation saying, I would never have known about this wonderful, wonderful place that sparkles and shines with savings. And Max is going to say, guess what? Your shipping on your next order is on May. That is when you load up. Free shipping is nothing to sneeze at, my people. Believe me.
Too true.
Yeah, and also, there's a bunch of specials all the time.
All the time. Every week. A bunch are posted on the Slack. So if you're a patron and you're over there, you will see them. But there are a couple others that kept off to the side to run down this evening. And the first is DC Finest Justice Society of America. The Plunder of the Psycho Pirate, $23.99. Experienced the pivotal story arc in JSA history featuring the Psycho Pirate written by Golden Age All-Star Gardner Fox. The Justice Society encounters a powerful new foe with the ability to manipulate their emotions. Will the Psycho Pirate prove too much for the team to handle? This volume collects All-Star Comics numbers 13 through 24. Hate Revisited, $14.99. Buddy Bradley and Lisa Leavenworth, now middle-aged, with a free-spirited young adult of their own, confront their own poor decisions as young people in the grungy 1990s, expertly shifting between the present day in full color and their Gen X heyday in glorious crossed-hatch black and white. We learn for the first time the story of how Betty met Lisa, Stinky, George, and Val. Meanwhile, Buddy is forced to come to terms with the tragic and covered-up circumstances of Stinky's untimely death in the original Hate series while navigating elder care, contemporary politics, family, and friendships. And finally, the hero trade, Hero for Sale, $10.39. The seemingly straightforward tale of a man with the body of a superhero in the trunk of his car, driving from one nefarious organization to another and selling it piece by piece by Matt Kent and David Latham. The meticulously curated collection contains over 200 pages of the Hero Trade saga, featuring a batch of brand new stories, including the Hero Trade 2, Bootleg, Live or Die, and the monumental two-part crossover with Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, as well as a wealth of bonus material and behind-the-scenes content exclusive to this edition.
Do not pay more than you have to, people. Just go to cheapgraphicnovels.com. Your savings, you could turn it around, buy more stuff.
You damn right.
Yep. We have to give it up again this week. There's a trend. We have a new patron.
Yes, we do.
Mr.
That's right.
John.
Long time friend of the show.
Yes, Mr. John Dudley.
What up, duds?
In the Slack, swimming around with the sharks and the man of wars and whatever else you want to say. He's in there. You get to see us at our best and at our worst, unfortunately. But people like that. They seem to like that. So welcome, John Dudley. Big hugs. Pinch on the behind. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking.
That you drinking?
Yes, I am. It is called Blackberry Lemonade, and it's the water. It's delicious, and I love it.
Look at you, Mr. Healthy.
Nah, I'm just didn't have time or
It's
desire.
Like Bizarro World, because I am breaking my streak and actually having an alcoholic beverage. Because if there's one thing that the summer is all about, is reminding everyone that the claw is the law.
Oh my God! Can you be any whiter? Seriously.
Right.
Well, yeah, yes, because yes, because of all the white people you know, I'm probably one of the most down with the culture. So yeah, and I'm drinking some Ruby Grapefruit White Claw hard seltzer.
Grapefruit too. That tastes like vomit when you burp it up in your mouth.
Well, I don't plan on burping it up in my mouth.
I hope not.
Word. Oh man, I do have some water for later, but right now, a shout out to Friday night when I was sitting on the stoop with my neighbor and we were enjoying what I'm drinking right now, which is the Tin Cup straight bourbon whiskey.
Wonderful. Let's talk about comics.
Go for it.
Why don't you guys team up?
On what?
And then maybe I'll add my opinion at the end. Maybe.
On what?
You look at your list.
Fantastic Four.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
guessing.
Why don't? Yeah, I mean, why don't we like? You could just say like, why don't you talk? Like, I have a million things on my list. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's an enigma.
Now I got to match it up. Like, what specific are you referring to?
It's
well, at least we're in alphabetical order, Jason.
Yeah, Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay.
Because we know he didn't read Beneath the Trees, so that's...
No.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So, Fantastic Four, number one. You know, Marvel, DC do what they do.
Well,
seemingly renumbering it for the sake of it. What are you saying?
It's well, you're right. It is a number one or 1A according to Ryan in the back matter. It's also issue number 34 of his run that he started in 2022, and as far as legacy numbering, issue 727.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the big draw here, of course, is that we have Humberto Ramos. And you may recall that I spoke on North's Fantastic Four run maybe about a year ago now, give or take. Because I know I'd read like 20-plus issues all in one fell swoop at the time, so I would imagine that would kind of line up with about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. And at the time I said, because it was getting some good vibes and feedback from some of our boos, that I thought that the writing was excellent, and it really felt like classic FF, and I thought he got the family dynamic well. But I thought that, as is often the case with Marvel in this decade, they do him a grave disservice with not only substandard art, but a just constant rotation of artists. such that I thought it really took away from what would have been a fantastic run, no pun intended, if he had one or two really great artists that were just helping him helm the story from the start. I have no idea if that's what's happening now, because Umberto certainly isn't someone who sticks around on any book for all that long. But that said, at least for this quote unquote first arc of the new run, I'm thrilled to see it, because we now get Ryan North Fantastic Four with a really accomplished storyteller, and I'm sure there will be a reason why it renumbered. I mean, he says in the back matter that it'll all make sense, so that's cool. But it definitely did feel like it just picked up where it left off, because I've been reading it. So it's so again, like, but that being said, I mean, I can't say it's not a fair jumping on point too. So I don't want to say it like as a pejorative. But it basically introduces the fact that the Fantastic Four are not buying what Emperor Doom is putting down. And in this current Marvel universe, we all know, because we've talked about it, Doom is God, essentially. He's the emperor of all things and all powerful. And most people have come to terms with that and actually believe he's doing a good job, Vince included. But the FF are having none of it. And whether or not they have legitimate reasons to believe it, or they're just biased because Doom has been their nemesis forever, is unclear. But basically the book opens with the four of them attacking him in the middle of the city. And him saying, all right, you know what? I've had enough of you bitches. And he basically does a snap of his fingers and banishes all four of them from the earthly plane. And the rest of the issue is each of them landing in a circumstance of some duress and trying to deal with that circumstance. Unbeknownst, they each have no idea where the others are, and if the others are still alive, and what's to come. And that's pretty much the premise of the issue. It's just setting up a new arc, in essence, where they're going to have to come back together. I will say one thing here, and I don't know if Dap picked up on this, because I don't remember if you read any of Ryan's run to this point, but I have a minor nit on this, in the sense that the crux of Ryan's arc originally was the same idea. His first FF1 and like the first, God, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 issues was all about bringing the first family back together because they were all separated. So it feels a little trite to be going back to that well, like, so quickly by the same author. So I'm not sure how I really feel about it, but if I remove that nit of continuity from my brain, I think this issue was very well executed. And much like with Amazing Spider-Man a few months back, I can't imagine that there aren't a lot of displaced longtime FF fans who are probably very much looking for a reason to jump back aboard. And I think this will serve them well. I think if you haven't read FF in a long time and you consider yourself a big FF fan, I think if you check this out, you'll have a smile on your face. So I think it was a success. Certainly one of the better Marvel number ones I've read in a long time, which admittedly is a low bar in my mind, but still. Would I say this is a home run, or that I'm like super jonesing for what's to come? No, but again, I think it's good, and it certainly artistically felt like a big step up from what I already felt was a well-written comic.
Well said. I did not read a lot of North's original run, so no, that aspect of the opening arc is lost on me. As far as the way this issue pops off, I enjoyed it a lot. It's gorgeous, but I mean, that's redundant. It's an interesting idea. I love the whole thought behind the stone and how they can try to find each other. It was. I'm glad as a first issue that, yes, there's the whole One World Under Doom tie-in, in air quotes, because they face him off and he's still Sorcerer Supreme. But it's not a tie-in in the sense that you need to be following the miniseries to find out what's going on in this first issue. This is a pretty much standalone new start, and I'm not mad at that, especially if the idea is for those mythical readers that will come in from the theater in a week, that they'll find this without needing it to be bogged down with so many extra tie-ins. I thought us taking time with each of the four of them as they're trying to get acclimated to their situation. I did enjoy that quite a bit. We get to see Johnny try, and Johnny is and props to Ryan, because it's not like Byrne ever really showed this side of Johnny, but he is a lot smarter than so many give him credit for.
That's true.
And whether that could just be within being in proximity of his sister and his brother-in-law, but yeah, he's not the dumb blonde that at least Peter likes to chide him about. But he, we had just enough of I felt of the Thing because of the situation that he's in. I don't think that I felt like I think everybody had enough time to shine in their environment. I think we needed to see Reed kind of drag that out a bit, just because, I mean, aside from the fact that Reed likes to hear himself, it's what he had to deal with made sense to give him more pages. So yeah, it was a really, I dug the setup a lot, and I'll definitely be back for the second issue. But yeah, this was I would consider this a home run as far as somebody who really, really likes the Fantastic Four and can be a bit particular when it comes to creative teams on the team. Mm-hmm. I did. This was a nice kind of like coming home issue for me. I had no problem with it. So yeah, I'm happy for Ryan. I'm happy that he gets a new #1 attached to it, and he's working with an amazing illustrator. So yeah, this was a great first issue. Really looking forward to the next one.
Nice.
There you go.
Now, I'm guessing. Oh no, you actually said in your intro that you did read it.
I did read it. Yes.
You didn't care for it nearly as much as we did.
I didn't like it at all. No.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
In particular?
It's kind of unfortunate that North has to start off a run in the middle of an event.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Which kind of, it sucks, but it does say issue #1 on the front cover.
It does.
As a first issue, it does not do the job. It just doesn't.
I did acknowledge it is weird because, right, it isn't his first, and it's a straight, like, yes.
To your point, remember, he started off his run originally with the Thing, and you didn't see the family really together for, like, what, 8, 10 issues?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right, so it's like, the stories that remind us that family member X is as smart, as resourceful, as versatile, as formidable as Reed. If I had $1 for every one of those stories, I'd be very, very rich.
Right.
We know. We've been reading this book since '61. We know that Susie can hold her own, and Johnny and Ben. Like, what did this story tell you about Fantastic Four that you didn't know, other than maybe it entertained you? What's the purpose of this issue? He splits them up. The Fantastic Four is Marvel's first family, and he splits them up. Okay, I guess it's part of a longer story. Give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what you're seeing with Humberto Ramos, because this book is ugly. It's scratchy. There's a point in the story after Doom pushes them away. Count the number of panels with backgrounds. He just like almost forgets to do backgrounds after a while. That's just like the dinosaurs are boring. They're just stock dinosaurs. Maybe there's a couple leaves here and there. Like, I thought it was a whiff. The whole thing was a whiff. And whoever gave the creative thumbs up to give Johnny a mustache should never be able to decide creative decisions ever again.
That's just modern. Like
It's
Johnny's
just-
always been a good-looking young
it's
guy.
weird.
Like
He looks
Well,
like that
that's just how-
wrestler, the Scottish wrestler.
Seamus.
Yes, he looks like him.
That's just a sign of the times, though. Like that's how good-looking 20-something men they have
With a walrus mustache. Okay. I don't know.
I'm saying that's the look now. It's like
I'm not going to grind it into the dirt. I didn't like it at all.
All right. A familiar refrain, it seems.
It is. It is. Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Vince has no patience, as you can tell. I mean,
I
he told
don't.
us,
I have
and
no.
everybody knows. Apparently, Vince read the Ashcan version, which is like completely different than the book I read, but that's fine. I'm not.
Maybe I'm just more difficult to please.
This is
than
Oh
a
my
stock,
God, never.
Goldilocks.
than
It's like Goldilocks here.
a stock Fantastic Four story. This could have been in a drawer somewhere. Nobody would ever have known. It plays out.
could have been a Marvel fanfare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's where you fascinate me, though. Like real talk. Like again, like no, your opinion's obviously it's plenty valid. Like, but I do struggle with your complete disregard for what you just read in this, with your seeming love and every issue defense of one world under Doom.
Because
to
the
me,
story's
it's
rich.
all-
The story is ripe with potential. They'll fuck it up. Of course they will. But
Right.
Up until the current issue of One World Under Doom, the possibilities are still there. They could maybe pull it out. I don't expect them to. I really don't. Right. And I don't think the art's any good in that series either. But the
no, that's what I mean. Like to me, like I agree. Maybe I will concede to you that I didn't think this was like Ramos said is absolute tip top.
No, not even close.
There, but to me, this Ramos is still way better than what I've seen in a lot of Ryan North's run, unfortunately, and
I agree.
B, better than what I'm getting from One World Under Doom, where the art
I agree
detracts from my enjoyment of the story.
I agree with that. Yes.
Okay.
Because as a fan of Humberto Ramos, when those two words come together, Humberto and Ramos, I think, holy fuck, Peter Parker, great comics. Like, this is going to look amazing. And then I look at it, and there's 3 panels of Johnny full bust, just like soliloquizing. So what? And we get a castle with Reed, and then all of a sudden it's just Reed's body over. Like, come on, there's almost no Doom. Like, you barely see his face at one point, like, because he's got his head down. But it's like you have Doctor Doom in your arsenal. the greatest Fantastic Four villain. Use him. I don't know. And it's not me expecting something. Like, if I'm just looking at what was on the pages, right? And I'd be like, how is this noteworthy? It's not. But whatever. It could just be me being pissy pants.
Completely unrelated, but you just made me think of it, and I figure why not shout it out. Shout out to rest in peace, Julian McMahon, because we're to all the stuff. For those who don't know, Julian McMahon was one of the actors who played in the Fantastic Four movies. He was Victor Von Doom in the in one of the iterations, the one
with Alba and Evans.
Yeah, with Jessica Alba and dude from The Shield and stuff.
Handsome man.
But he passed away of lung cancer, unfortunately, at 56 years old this week. So rest in peace to him. And another completely random question, but it popped in my head as you were talking, Vince, and you may have no opinion on this, I don't know, but since you are an artist and an art instructor, I will ask this. You may know this, but for some reason, Reed Richards' ability of stretching,
yes,
for some reason, is one of the hardest things for CGI visual art to pull off. And like it's been talked about, like it never looks right.
No, it doesn't.
And I've heard, and again, we haven't seen it, so I'm gonna I'll withhold judgment until the end of this month when it comes out. But I have heard that Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic CGI suffers from the same thing. That it is distasteful to people's eyes.
It's very comic booky.
Yeah,
it is the essence of comic booky.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Well, why can CGI pull off so many other powers like magically, but the stretching of one's body is something they can't pull off?
Because CGI doesn't, it's not meant to exaggerate. If you're going to do a stretchy thing, you got to do it like Roger Rabbit. Like the weird ass physics of Roger Rabbit. If you just show a man stretching, it looks fucking creepy.
Right.
Even if you do it, quote, correct, right? It just looks odd. But if you cartooned out Reed a little bit, made him established it in the beginning of whatever it is that, oh, look, Reed's making himself in the shape of a teapot.
He's like Gumby.
Because he can, you know what I mean? Then you can get away with it, where it's not perfect. But I think the demand for realism in these movies is so high that they're doomed to fail. Reed works on the page because artists can exaggerate. You know, you can't pull that off in the movies. Right. I don't think so. That's why Johnny looks like shit too. Because to make a person flame on, it's just a person on fire. Where the black lines that Jack and John Buscema used, that is a contrast and it looks great on the page. But if you saw that in real life, you'd be, why is that guy striped? Like it doesn't work. I don't know.
Right.
I think there's a world of difference between flat 2D art and 3D animation. Some shit transfers really well and some doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But again, it's just opinion. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the one saddled with the task of animating Reed. No way. And just to add fuel to the fire, I read the Buckingham illustrated Fantastic Four comic.
Oh, the one based on the movie?
Yeah.
I didn't know Buckingham drew it.
Yeah. It looks good.
I didn't pick it up.
It looks good.
Yeah, I bet it does,
but I think we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Just what I'm saying.
I got to be honest. I mean, going into this week, I was starting to be worried about both Superman and Fantastic Four. But I've done a full 180 on the Superman. I think they pulled it off because enough people who I know care about Superman a lot have seen it and loved it. So I'm like, okay, this is... Including Jamal Igle, who's hated everything about Superman in the media for 25 years.
Jamal hates a lot of stuff. He really does.
The fact that he loved it, I'm actually legit encouraged because he hates everything other than the first Superman movie, like with Christopher Reeve. But I will be there the opening weekend because it is FF and I genuinely like Pedro Pascal. There's lots about the film I think, but I am legit worried that it's gonna not deliver, and that really will suck because
sets everything up.
It's right. It's although it's the third of 3 Marvel movies this year, which is hard to believe, but it's the one that Marvel has internally been counting on to quote unquote get things right and set this next phase off. So we'll see. But again, we'll see. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that people are worried, and then you see a movie because I remember everyone was worried about Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Like, oh my god, like. A talking raccoon, a giant tree. Like, what the fuck's this all about, right? And then it ended up being one of the better pockets of the MCU. So I'm not
right.
I'm not sure it's going to be disappointing, but I am admittedly a bit nervous. I don't know how the 50s era pastiche is
the
going
aesthetic
to
that's
play.
bothering me.
Yeah. So
because younger kids are going to see that and be like, "Okay, boomer."
Exactly. Yeah. It does kind of feel like okay, boomer movie. Which again, we're boomers, so we might like it, but I could see my sons being like, "Yo, that was whack." Like, what was that about? So yeah.
I know. And this bullshit about Superman, how they're refuting the claims that he's an immigrant. He's like the ultimate immigrant.
Well, wait, let's be clear. Dean
No,
Cain,
it's only Fox. That's
Dean
that's
Cain,
crazy.
Who has been a MAGA Trumper from jump. And because he acted as Superman,
quote, he
Fox
acted,
is giving him a voice. Right. No, I'm saying, but let's be clear. I mean, this is a vocal minority. I mean, this is,
but he's immigrant number 1.
Yep.
whatever.
And also, of course, not that we're preaching to the choir here, but also created by two Jewish men
Yes.
who were immigrants themselves.
Immigrant
So,
2 and 3.
Immigrant,
Let's just call
immigrant
them.
yeah. So, yeah.
I know. I mean, Gunn is pretty awesome, and I like his movies, and his TV shows. So I think that I'm going to lean towards Superman being way better.
Yeah.
Than it just sucks for the Marvel Universe.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, again, we don't. I mean, I assume you're not going to go see it. I assume Dap and I will be seeing it. If not, I know I'm planning on seeing it the first on opening night. I know Dap usually tries to get there pretty quickly, so we'll talk about it when it comes out, one way or the other. But
there you go.
Yeah, and I'm still hopeful. Why don't you tell us something you read and loved? I hope there's at least something you loved.
I really loved a lot of things this week.
Okay, because yesterday you said, or this morning you said everything you read this week sucks. So
no,
I was like, oh.
No. I took that as being this week's stuff.
Right,
this week's books were trash.
Got it.
Yeah,
got it.
Well, I'm going to have to take a little bite out of this book because it's 450 pages. So,
you haven't read it yet, but it's sitting right next to me. Actually,
I won't spoil it. There's really.
No, it's okay. It's not a kind of book that you can.
It's written and illustrated by Alex Graham.
Very controversial in her own right.
Yes, they of Dog Biscuits. It's published by Fantagraphics. It is The Devil's Grin, Book 1.
Yep.
Book 1, and it's 450 pages. It is an encapsulation of. Wow. I would love to talk to Alex because I'd be like, kid, I like your style. You know, if you want to drop some profanity in your book, you go all in because this book, I mean, there is some raw ass profanity in this book. You want to put sex in your book? Characters getting blown in a hallway, sex on the hood of a car, like, okay. And violence, it starts off violent. It starts actually in 1948. There's an artist named Harriet Albers, and she thinks she has a man, but her man don't want nothing to do with her. And she's not a very confident artist. She has self-awareness issues, and she doesn't. She tries, but she has periods of stagnation, as a lot of artists do. But remember, 1948, you know, and out of the blue, her stomach starts to bother her, you know, so she runs to the toilet and she's getting a little blood on her panties, and as she sits down, she plops a fetus in the toilet. Yes, there's a fetus in the toilet. Now remember, it's awesome. This is a black and white book, but there are periods, no pun intended, where Graham will accent whatever's going on with red. And this is one of those scenes, because if you drop a fetus, a certain amount of blood is going to come out too. So the fetus is floating in the toilet, and mom and fetus are having a little bit of a back and forth, little dialogue going on. And
crazy. That's fucking crazy.
And she's just about to, she goes, I'm the stigma of being a single mother. I cannot do it. Nope, I can't do it. I'm just going to, you're sorry. No, no ill will between the two of us, but I'll see you later. And the fetus goes, whoa, wait a minute, please grant me one boon. Just tell me what my name would have been. And she says, well, Robert. And she flushes the fetus down the drain.
That is fucked up, dude.
But that is not the last we see of Robert, because Robert is one of the main characters in this book. Robert is found in the sewer, and he is held prisoner in a bird cage by something. We'll get no more specific than that. And he is forced. Now, remember, he's a fetus. He's a tiny little squib, a baby thing. And what does he do for sustenance? His mother just flushed him down the toilet. So he's put in this bird cage with this worse for wear rat like thing, and so he suckles upon this creature until it expires, after which he continues to suckle upon this creature, and he's eventually rescued and set free, and frees in quotes. So then the narrative jumps to 1974, and Robert's a poet, a shitty poet, but he's a poet, and all of his poems are focused in some way on the sewer, or the emotions that he felt in the sewer, or being in the sewer, or warning people of the sewers, or, it's all sewer based. And he catches a lot of shit because it's like, oh, here's the guy's doing the fucking sewer freaking poems again. Bukowski, he's not, right? His poetry kind of sucks. But anyway, so he gets in fights because of his poetry. But Robert is a ladies' man. Women seem to find him irresistible. One of which is his neighbor, Dandelion. Dandelion is a writer, a poetess or poet, you want to say. She works at an old folks' home in the cafeteria. She has a thing for Robert, and they're attracted to each other. And then Robert will say something fucking stupid or careless or heartless. Robert likes to manipulate people. That's very important because there's a lot of that going on in this book. Robert and Dandelion eventually get together, and then they don't, and they have sex, and then she hates his guts, and then why? Well, there's a third person in the mix, and his name is Gary McCoy. And Gary's an artist. Gary also appears in the 1948 section, and he appears in the 1974 section, no older than he appeared in the previous section. And Gary's a comic book artist. See, this is a book about artists, right? Gary's a comic book artist, and whatever he draws on the comic book page happens in real life. And Gary happens to be drawing a story featuring Robert and Dandelion. It's fucked up. It's very strange. Because Gary thinks that he's being driven by God to delineate the lives of these two people. But there's something else that's manipulating Gary. What is it? I'm not going to say. I think you should read the book. But subtext, everybody has to serve someone. People are very easily manipulated, even those doing the manipulating. There seems to be lies and deceit and backroom deals everywhere in this universe, and it's not a pleasant place. There are side trips that we go on. A stripper likes Robert and eventually becomes friends with Dandelion, and Dandelion becomes friends with an old man in the nursing home, and he takes it as something other than a worker just being friends with him. There's a lot. It's 450 pages. There's a lot going on, and some scenes will go on for like 10, 15 pages, just dialogue scenes where people just it's an odd. It's very strange. But I loved it. I thought it was amazing because you get sucked into this universe. Graham, the verisimilitude of this universe is amazing because you'll be reading page 20 and then you look maybe on the side of your corner of your eye and you're on page 137. It's like, holy shit, where did all that go? How? I don't remember turning the page that many times. And there are cameos from Richard Nixon and David Bowie. Dandelion has a fascination with David Bowie, and the album that's pictured is Diamond Dogs. And give it up for Graham because Diamond Dogs came out in 1974, and that's the year of the second narrative. Jim Morrison makes an appearance, Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg. It's a dense piece of work. Most of the pages have like a 2, 4, 6 page grid, 9 page grid, 6. Yeah, it's a lot of panels, And there's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot going on. But I'll tell you, where they're going to go from here, I don't know. I don't know where the story's going. 450 pages and it doesn't end. It ends on a big old question mark. What's happening? In for a penny, in for a pound. So if you're going to read The Devil's Grin, book 1, remember those 2 words at the end of it, book 1. Yeah. I was spellbound by it, but I love Dog Biscuits. I thought Dog Biscuits was great.
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Yeah,
me too.
But this, and this is more of the same. If your sensibilities are, if you're a proper young man or a proper young lady or a proper person, a lot of the stuff in this book is going to set you off. There's explicit sex in this book, like everything.
Say less.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's sweaty, dirty, ugly. It's not a pretty book. If you've been exposed to Graham's work, they don't draw flowery or pretty. This is a gritty, dirty. Parts of it are very unappealing, but I think that's the point, right? The city's grimy and grungy. The sewer's a mess. It's disgusting. Sex is not always pretty. There's body fluids flying all over the place. And the language is rough and the, man's inhumanity to man. There's a lot of characters in this book that aren't treated very well by anyone. And then there's like God's at play, or is it? I don't know. Just read it. It's one of those things that you're going to have to read again, even though it's 450 pages, because there are subtleties in it that I'm sure I missed. I tried to pick up on a whole bunch of stuff, but when there's fucking on the page, you kind of get distracted.
There be fucking, yeah.
There's a lot of fucking. There's a lot of fucking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I deliberately left a whole bunch out because
I appreciate that because
I don't want to be that guy.
I'm touching the book right now.
I don't want to be that guy.
Plastic wrap though. So
there's only one drawback. Dog Biscuits is a hardcover. I wish this was a hardcover as well.
Oh, damn.
Same.
Yeah, it would have been more resilient. Would have held up a little better. A 450-page paperback is kind of floppy, floopy a little bit, and
And listeners, this is a
Dimensions are
great
the same
example.
size as Dog Biscuits?
What's that?
I'm sorry. No, I was asking if the dimensions were the same size as Dog Biscuits.
more or
I
less.
think so.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. Yeah, no.
No, I was going to say this is a great example of separating the art and the artist. Because Alex Graham's been on some fuck shit lately. And I got to say, I'm saying I've been side-eyeing her hard on it, but didn't stop me from ordering the book. Won't stop me from enjoying the book.
Yeah, that's the joy of not being on the socials is you don't get to see that.
Well,
kind
you're
of stuff.
familiar with that though. We've
Well,
talked about
yeah.
that.
I mean, she had a point until she dropped the white privilege bomb. And it's
No,
like,
well, right.
well,
right.
why are you going
She
that
went-
way?
She bridged too far. She took
She was in that lane. She saw the flag. It was starting to wave, and then she dropped.
But you also don't like Carolyn Cash, and she was basically taking a shot at Carolyn Cash.
I don't give a shit about Carolyn Cash as a person. I don't think.
Oh
her,
no, I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think her work is
You
any.
didn't find pee poo poo very.
No.
Yeah.
Derivative covers based on famous covers. Like anybody can do that. I'm just saying. Just saying.
No, I get you.
But yeah, no, I like this book a lot. In fact, I'm a little bit in love with it, and I will read it again. The Devil's Grin, book 1. Love the way Alex draws. Love the way they paint. Love the way they write. Everything. This book is a win for me.
Nice.
Yes.
Is Alex non-binary? Is that why you say they?
I'm just trying to cover my bases because I don't know.
Oh, respect. No, respect. Yeah, no, I didn't know because I wasn't aware one way or the other. Okay.
No, I don't want to say she because who knows?
Oh, respect.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you all based in shit. Look at you.
Yeah.
Right? It's all grown up. Holy shit.
Well, he's still moody as fuck, but other than that, he's grown up. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the baby steps. You can't think.
I am a moody bastard. I'm sorry.
It's because you didn't
We
see
still
us.
love you.
Normally you see us and it recharges your happy battery for a couple months, but you didn't see us.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I'd like to think so.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with that. I agree with you to a point. Yes.
listeners, it's hard out there.
It is
It's
hard.
hard. It's hard out
What,
there.
what else we got?
Oh my god!
We're trying. We're trying.
And I dare not mute my microphone. So I'm actually old school bullpen bulletins, writing down what we talk about with a pen and paper.
Nice.
Tag nabbit.
Yeah.
So something clicked. I don't know why it took this long, but something clicked between issues 3 and 4 of Absolute Martian Manhunter, and it because it is a heavy. The story is that are making up these issues can be pretty heavy. It's not exactly sunshine and rainbows, and it's not a feel good story. Any of the chapters really, and I know Caleb mentioned issue 3 on the Slack, and I recently just finished the 4th issue, and Camp's what Dennis Camp is doing feels to me, and I'm not looking around at anybody else. It basically it kind of felt like the topics make me feel like I'm almost reading a modern day Denny O'Neil story, or something that would be in the late '60s, early '70s Marvel type comic
I feel
story.
that. Yeah, I get that. Yep.
It is because it's topical as fuck, but it's the way Camp is explaining things and setting the scenes and how the Mindhunter is trying to make sense of it all, and even with John and dealing with his wife, and obviously he's never home because he's trying to figure out what's going on and save people and make things better. But it's because of the topics. It's very it's unlike any of the other Absolute books. We've already said that, but yeah, as far as the topics go, it's just I don't know why I was thinking of Denny for some reason, but I finished the 4th issue, and then I was just taking my walk around campus, and I was just thinking about things, and it just, I don't know why it just clicked, but yeah, it was. But the 4th issue, we've got we've tensions are it's extremely hot. There's a days long, going on almost like 2 weeks heat wave. It's constantly in the high 90s, hitting hundreds, and people are getting very agitated, very upset. It doesn't take much for somebody to just start swinging on someone else. You bump into somebody, they drop their coffee, that's it. You want to talk about a sports team, it's over. There were two in this issue. There are 2 churches that were arguing with each other. The congregations were coming to blows because they were having an argument over whether or not a few drops, when you sprinkle water over someone, can be considered a baptism, or if you have to actually dunk the whole body in the water. I mean, it's wild the way just random little anything is just setting people off, and with the whole deal with the White Martian, and with the Martian that's working with John, their thinking, or at least what the clues that they were following, and their way of thinking on how to squash the threat was slightly off base a little bit. So we're going to find out how that'll be affected in the next issue. But yeah, it's still obviously it's still a great looking book, because it's still illustrated by Javier Rodriguez. And yeah, and finally, John's wife seems to have hit her limit and confronts him, and just really lays into him about the fact that he's been so absent, and he's not necessarily oblivious to it, but he's just kind of taken aback by her attitude towards his actions or inactions, but I mean, anybody reading the book knows why she feels this way, but it's interesting to see both sides try to come to terms with what's going on, but we see a lot more of her in this issue, in issue 4, than we have lately, and in previous issues. But yeah, I think it's just a 6-issue series, so I'm hoping we're probably gonna get a hardcover out of it. But it's it looks so good. It's one of the it's a great combination of a really great looking book and smartly written. Just not just how he's interpreting this character that's been around for decades, but the stories he's telling with the character and how of the moment they really are, and because you can look at the news, you can be surrounded by the real world, and then you read something like this, and it kind of puts some things in perspective about how silly it is to get worked up over the most minuscule or inconsequential things, and you need to step back, and just like last week with Midnight Radio, and you don't know what someone's dealing with, or you haven't walked in their shoes, so you don't know what's going on in their life. Here we can see what's going on in some people's lives, and it just takes it to the extreme in how they react to things. But it's a and also the way it's written in just these kind of like sparse random thoughts. Just like we'll see one panel of a donut because he's letting Bridget know that he's going to be back late, and it's just but the words going around it's almost like a stream of consciousness thing. I am really surprised I'm enjoying this book as much as I am, but it's a great addition to the Absolute line, and whether we get a revisit of this with a sequel series, or Camp and Rodriguez want to work on something else, I will be there to find out what it is they want to work on. It's so good.
You damn Skippy.
Yeah, you're getting a hardcover.
Yep.
Thank you. I haven't seen previews. Thank you.
The subplot with the wife infuriates me because
why?
Because it's just it's a sign of stupidity on John's character, because just like tell your wife, just tell her.
Yes.
Then all that shit goes away.
Right.
Like just tell her. What? Why wouldn't you? You just keep doing all this fancy footwork garbage, and and we're on the other side of it, going like, dude, just tell her, just fucking tell her, just put.
Listen, I am.
What do you got to lose?
I'm not going to speak for a comic book character, Vince, but I will tell you, speaking from experience, some things are easier said than done.
Well, if you're married to someone, shouldn't it be easy to tell them anything?
You would think.
Right. And then, so if they react in a way that is off the chain, you just like, all right, go fuck yourself then. Like, I don't know what to tell you, because
that's also easier said than done.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah.
If you have the powers of the Martian, like, how do you have to be able to manipulate your body? Like, tell your wife, dude, tell your wife. That's all. And then you just eliminated. You've eliminated a large chunk of your day.
I mean, it's facts. I mean, but yes, but I think
you're not wrong.
And comics are an ideal world. So yes, in an
true.
ideal world of comics.
But if I will say, if the book didn't look as good as it looks, I'm tired of the real world of the week type thing. That's getting old.
Yeah, which is another reason why I'm glad it's only 6 issues.
Right.
I don't know if I'd be able to take a year of this.
Right. Sure.
It's like in X-Files. Like the Monster of the Week ones stop.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to see these anymore. I just get back to the arc, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
I know.
That's an interesting. What you just said about the X-Files is interesting, because that obviously was a byproduct of a different time when media was made, right? Like back then, you needed to make 22 to 26 episodes a year, and so they padded it with the Monsters of the Week. And at the time, I was fine with it, although I vividly remember excitedly saying to Beth each week, like, "Oh, this is a conspiracy episode." Like they always meant more. But with Ryan Coogler set to remake the X-Files, reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it. But in today's world, where we're seasons are what, 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, like if he just goes all in on the conspiracy angle, and we don't get any of the sort of one-offs.
I think you need a little bit of creatures.
Right, yeah. No. Right, yeah, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, I have crazy
Ryan
faith in
Coogler.
Black Panther.
Ryan Coogler is well,
Creed.
but most recently Sinners. That mean he's
the
hottest director in the world.
The writer and director of those movies.
Yeah.
So this is going to be on a streaming service?
Yes.
Hopefully not Amazon.
I don't. I think it's Netflix.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Wow. Okay.
I think. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know if it's. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let's see here.
Is Duchovny and
Gillian Anderson is officially in it. No word on Duchovny yet. But what the fuck else is he doing?
having sex and plenty of it?
I'm saying though, like my guy could use a check, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he can.
So, I don't see anything. I see all the articles about him saying that's his next project. I don't see anything about where it's going
okay.
to be.
As long as it's not Amazon, we're good.
There you go. So I love when comics teach me something.
Wow.
Because I mean,
Cartoon history of the universe.
We're old, knowledgeable. Although that was cool too. It's going to be my inner travels, but I was waiting for this book to finally come out because we were sent the comp. God, probably like 2 months ago, and I read it then. Wow. But it's finally been released to the public on July 1st, so a week and a half ago, and that is Dr. Werthless. And the name is Werthel.
Oh, I know what this is.
Right, yes, as in Frederick Wertham. This is the new graphic novel through Dark Horse by Harold Schechter and Eric Powell. Now those names may, well, obviously everyone knows Eric Powell, but you may recognize that tandem together because they did. Did you hear what Eddie Gein done a few years back, which was a biographical graphic novel about serial killer Eddie Gein, and I really enjoyed that at the time. So this is their follow-up to that, and this is a biographical graphic novel about Dr. Frederick Wertham. And look, this is an audacious thing for them to do on many fronts, right? Because if you could give me a short list of people that you could create a comic book about that comic book readers don't want to buy, Frederick Wertham is very much near the list, top of the list, right? Like who wants to buy a book about the guy that is synonymous with censoring comic books, right? Like, am I right? Like
I agree. But I'm thinking, judging by the title, that they probably poke fun at him the entire time and make him look like a opportunist.
This is where it gets really interesting. Much like they did with Eddie Gein, they play it straight here, and I have to tell you, not that I was ever seeking out. Like, I was never actively seeking out to know about Dr. Wertham. Like, I didn't, beyond the comic censorship, which we're all very familiar with. But having not seeked out sort of a fuller illustration of his life, I thought this book was fantastic on that front because he is a very complicated and accomplished human being. And I was not heretofore aware of that. Like I only really knew of him because of what I consider him wilding out over censorship of comics, right? And to Schechter and Powell's credit, they give a far more expansive, richer history of this man and create a really fascinating dynamic where I think they hit the mark here where if you read this, I think you have to come away with like a more nuanced view on this man, and it actually I came away thinking, what the fuck happened? Like like in the sense that this dude pretty much was like on his way to sainthood until this fucking comic stuff. And again, this is all new to me. And then after I read this book, I went and started doing a little web research to see and make sure that it wasn't, that they weren't maybe spinning things in a way that wasn't widely considered to be factual. And no, it's actually very much in line with the narrative. I just wasn't ever, I guess, seeking it out. So the point here is this: Dr. Wertham, we all know him, and I think most people are going to read this, since it is a graphic novel, are going to go into this thinking like, piece of shit, crazy censorship, blah, blah, blah. And that is all true. And they obviously address that it's a big chunk of the book, right? Like, they address that. But I think what they also do is they illustrate the journey to that. And while I will never, and I don't think any of us would ever excuse what he did, or the impact it had, I think in reading this, I came away thinking I have a much better understanding of why he did it. And while, again, I think it was very misguided, that it really wasn't with malice of intent, right? Like, he thought he was doing the right thing. And again, let me be clear, I don't think it was the right thing, but nor do I think Powell or Schechter thought that. But here's the thing. So, dude, like, they do a really masterful job here. Because, again, this is it could be some pretty dry stuff. Like, we talk all the time that one of the cool things about comics is that you can do these amazing things in comics that you just couldn't do in any other medium, right? Like, you need like $1 billion budget to make a movie that you could draw a comic book, right? But this is not that, right? This is talking heads. This is a bunch of people sitting in rooms talking about the world. And so on that front, kudos to Eric Powell, because I don't know that there's many cartoonists that could pull that off. Because the way you pull that off is having incredibly engaging, emotive faces. And that's what Powell does here, right? Like, where he can invoke every emotion and make you care about looking at a bunch of faces talking. And that is not easy, right? But there isn't a lot of visual trickery here because of the subject matter. So where I think they really are effective is they essentially structure this like a true crime story or a true crime podcast, where you get these chapter asides of like serial killers or bad people that Dr. Wertham either treated or came in contact with. And I think it serves the book well, because otherwise it'd be a pretty dry book, right? Like, you basically just a biographical, historical take of the psychiatrist. But here's the thing: like, dude came up. He was a German, and he came to the U.S. The early part of his career, he was largely unsuccessful. He had a huge ego, and he had very bad people skills. And everywhere he worked, people hated working with him, thought he was an asshole, and it pretty much derailed his career almost irrevocably. He had to move back to Germany because he couldn't get work here in the U.S. and basically was begging for work here. And through the book covers all this, but like through some colleagues and mentors that thought he was brilliant and so forth and so on, he ends up getting ultimately a job as the head psychiatrist at Bellevue, right, the famous psychiatric hospital in New York, which not resurrects, but like puts his career on the track that he always wanted it to be. And while he's at Bellevue, he is incredibly effective dealing with and profiling, the worst of the worst, like violent, psychologically broken offenders. And his take through all of it is that the reason there are societal and outside forces driving them to do these things. Now, again, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but certainly there is this school of thought of like, are you born tabula rasa, right? Are you born or evil or good, or are you formed evil or good by your experiences? I think most of us that aren't in that world probably think it's like somewhere in between, right? Like, we have traits that we're born into, and then we have experiences that shape us. It's like a little bit of both. He was like very much in we really need to understand the outside factors, the societal factors that turn people into what they are, right? He was of that school. So part of his career is that. And then where I'm really was like gobsmacked and had no idea. He then transitions to becoming a extremely active and engaged ally of the particularly of young black Americans who are disadvantaged by the societal weight of the situations they're put in. And that becomes a thing that he does for his entire life. Like he was giving people, he started a clinic in Harlem where he was giving people psychiatric counseling for 25 cents an hour throughout his entire life. And I didn't know this either, but he was one of the key figures in what ultimately led to desegregation of our school system. Like, I had no idea he was one of the key people that fought for that. Like, and I was absolutely blown away because all I think of is like this crazy dude who, was like, clutching pearls and fucked up, comics and censorship. And then ultimately, like his third act, if you will, unfortunately for him and for us, was this sort of visiting of this idea of censorship. And it was all born of his own experiences where he had studied many, many people that he thought were affected by outside influences, like what they were imbued with culturally. And you probably tell from my excitement about this, this was a really engaging book. Like, I was absolutely not expecting this for a couple of reasons. One, you guys know I'm not a huge Goon fan. Like, I don't love the Goon. So, and Eric Powell's synonymous with that. So, I don't think I hold Eric Powell in the same vein that many do. Although I do think he's a really talented cartoonist, to be fair. I just don't like the Goon as a character. Too fucking pulpy, Vince, you know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah. But like, this was just incredibly well done, and kudos to them for taking, number one, a hated figure in our fandom, but two, a relatively like boring concept, like just an old white psychiatrist, right? Like, and making a gripping narrative that I think really educates us on, and reminding us that no matter what you think of a person, like, you probably don't really know them holistically, right? Like, people who listen to our show, right, they probably have opinions about us, but like, they don't really know us, right? Like, they know aspects of us, but they don't know us holistically. And, we have celebrities or people that we root for, athletes, actor, whatever, and we think we know them, but we really only know a fraction of them. And this book was a great reminder of even historical figures, because of the thing we know them for historically, we kind of make this blanket assumption of what that means they were as a person. And I thought that Schechter and Powell did an awesome job of saying, like, no, this dude was a complex person who had a long life of great achievement and also happened to be fucking wilding out about comic censorship. So, highly recommend it. Like, if you're into biographical comics at all, or comics history, Dr. Werthless by Dark Horse, Harold Schechter and Eric Powell, absolute home run. Like, really, really well done book.
Look at you, all open-minded and shit.
Did you know that stuff about Wortham? I did not. Like, did you know he was instrumental in desegregating schools and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need to know specifics on Anakin. I just want to see him when he turns and becomes the villain, right?
Okay. I mean,
you know what I mean? Wortham is in my heart. He's a douchebag that put a lot of people out of work and a lot of publishers underground.
And that is part of his life, yeah.
Great, and I'm glad he did the desegregation of the schools. I'm glad he had a hand with just disenfranchised black youth. That's awesome. Show me that scene in the spaceship when Vader's fucking killing people, going after Princess Leia. That's what I want. I don't want Anakin being nice. I need my villains, Jason.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between fictional characters and real humans.
There is, and I'm being facetious, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I think neither. Not that we're going to get Eric Powell or Schechter on the show, but I don't think I very much came away with this thing that they like. It's not like they are exonerating.
Right, that's my point. No matter what Wortham did, to help a lot of people, he still screwed over a good number of folks.
Oh yeah.
So,
and to their credit, the opening chapter, which has nothing to do with Wortham, is a story about in the late 1800s. This kid, well, he's like a young man. I don't know if he's his teens or 20s, but he brutally murders a bunch of kids and I guess, and this is all true. He and it's blamed on his. They basically say that his mind was poisoned by the dime store novels of the time, and it was just a nice foreshadowing of how like this idea of, and of course we've seen the satanic, right? This has been a recurring theme throughout history, right? Of like laming content about aberrant behavior, and ultimately these are literal outlier people that do these heinous things, and it's because their minds are broken.
Yeah.
It's not because, and we all know this. I mean, well, most of us.
That's an incredibly reductive way of putting it, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, of course. I'm saying, but I just really appreciated that they took this man who we all kind of just think of, what a piece of shit, and he is a piece of shit, at least from our perspective, but then saying like, nah, he's actually like a really fully formed human, and it's, to me, at least for me, it reminded me that like we're all that way, right? Like we've all done, with like almost no exception, everyone listening to this, I would think, has done things in their life that they deeply regret and wish they could redo. We've also, I hope, all done things that we're very proud of, and everything in between, right? Like, and it's like, it's just a good reminder that like the worst of us and the best of us is probably not a fair depiction of us.
There you go. And put a comic book in their hand and they go batshit crazy. They see the vagina and the shoulder muscles, and they just want to go out and have sex and do drugs and kill people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I have something. There's a lot of people reading this book, but I think there should be a lot more people reading this book. And I'm going to be very, very careful. I read volumes 3 and 4 of Tank Chair. Written and illustrated by Manabu Yashiro and published by Kodansha. But I'm not going to talk about volume 3 at all. Okay. You know why I'm not going to talk about volume 3?
I don't.
Because I love our listeners and I would never be that guy. There's something that happens in volume 3 that is so monumental. It's a sea change. You can never go back from the events of volume 3. In fact, volume 4 is a flashback. It begins 3 years previous to volume 3. That's how big of a deal volume 3 is. So for me to say anything about the events of volume 3, I'd be a colossal douchebag. And I will not do that. To the people I love. And I want to get you to read this book. Tank Chair is awesome. Volume 4, like I said, the narrative jumps 3 years into the past. What's so special about this? You would think, like, okay, all of the inventiveness of Manabu's character design and character manipulation and just novel things going on in the story would have been expired in that big to-do in volume 3. Volume 4, we get to see the Academy. We get to see almost all of the Academy. There's even a cross-section, Jason. Remember in G.I. Joe where they did a cross-section of the fucking G.I. Joe base and you saw there's a cross-section in volume 4, right? This status quo is maintained because Nagi and his sister Shizuka are at the Academy, and Nagi's protecting Shizuka, and he has that thing where if he senses murderous intent, he reacts, so you really can't kill him. And you can't fake kill him. You gotta really mean it, or, and he gains power from I talked about this book before. Mm-hmm. But in volume 4, you get to see the students of the Academy. And it is amazing. The character design is nuts because right off the bat, you get a new student into the Academy, Yuri Oboro. I will say she's one of a set of quadruplets, and that's all I'm going to say. Because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to be Senor Douchebag and ruin the book for you, right? So she's put into the academy by the Oboro clan for the sole reason of trying to kill Nagi. She has to prove herself to her family. She's got to kill Nagi. But something happens. On the way to killing Nagi, she kind of falls in love with him. Oh, well. But that's not the great thing about Volume 4. It's all the students. There's a 2-headed giant student at the academy. One head is Kentaro. The other head is Ryusuke. And together, they're called Wanaguchi. And they're massive dudes. And they have bandages around their heads, and they're just like lifting 400-pound weights. And one of them's kind of surly, and the other one's kind of goofy giddy. It's just really neat. And there's a hot chick named Schwanz.
Schwanz, that's hilarious.
And she has a prehensile tail with a spike on the end of it.
Oh, like a Schwanz.
Like a Schwanz. And she kills people en masse. Because there's a section of the whole, there's another narrative at play where somebody is trying to take over the academy from Sensei, and they unleash all these characters, and Schwanz is like, and you see like 30 people just fall, and she's smoking hot, and it's the sizzle but not the steak. Like, she a prehensile tail means that to use the prehensile tail, you probably can't wear underwear, right? Uh-huh. Which is part of the book. There's a young man named Wan who turns into an anthropomorphic dog. A white, good boy who wags his tail and bites the head off people. There's a comely lass with the head of a mantis. I don't believe that her name was given. The head of the disciplinary committee is this extremely androgynous character called Shirai, who has a pair of identical twin female vampire, or at least gothic, lackeys with them. The design is just crazy. The drawing is perfect. There's violence and action aplenty. And then it just, like, to Yashiro's credit, it is extremely compelling and it sucks you in. And then the last page bounces back to the narrative established in Volume 3. More or less. More or less. So, I'm trying to be vague here. You have this giant. It's like when King Kong fell off the Empire State Building. That would be Volume 3, and Volume 4 is the ground crew cleaning it up. Remember the brother sister team that I told you about? It's in Volume 1, 2, and 3. Naozumi and Tuko. How Tuko is this giantess who has her power comes from gas. She wears the canisters of gas and has a face mask, so she can't really talk. And the only person that can understand her is her brother. Well, with this volume, there's someone else that can understand her, and it's crazy. When you think about what happens in Volume 3, and you're like, oh, I can say no more. Just read it. Get caught up on Tank Chair, because it's amazing. The juke between Volumes 3 and 4 is just one of the best things I've ever read. It's craziness. Tank Chair.
Nice.
Yeah, Kodansha. It's one of the more kinetic manga, too. But it's just all these kids are assassins, like Deadly Class. They're extremely adept at killing. That's what they do, and it's just all killing at the behest of Sensei. And so, if you like Deadly Class and you want to see you want to read a similar sequential art that may or may not be drawn better, I think you should check out
Wow.
Tank Chair.
That's fucking malfeasance right there. What?
Manabu Yashiro.
My man Wes Craig is taking strays. What? That is crazy.
Have you seen the art? Have you seen the art in Tank Chair?
I'm just saying you are on full tilt tonight because you could have just praised this without taking shots.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I could have, but I didn't. Have you seen
fucking insanity, dude?
Have you seen the art in Tank Chair?
I will not entertain a single negative comment about Wes Craig's sequential. It's fucking perfect comics in every way.
And
we're not making another 10 episodes.
When you say Tank Chair, you have to say Tank Chair because it's freaking metal. It's metal. Read it.
Well, you just lost me.
Of course. Why would you like things that are good?
Yeah, that's true.
Tank Chair. What else do we have? Comics.
I'm still shook.
I said it just to piss you off. The styles are very different. It's not even in the same ballpark.
Good Lord.
Well, especially because you actually like Wes Craig.
Why aren't you? I do like Wes. I do like him a lot. Why don't you talk about the freaking Beneath the Trees thing?
The frickin'
Just talk about it.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, he is on one. I love it.
I mean, listen, Patrick Horvath, was
Back
cute.
at it
Like,
again.
you go back to looking at when he made Beneath the Trees, he was like, oh, no, that was it. That's the whole story. And, it's like, but like,
Oops.
obviously it was a massive hit. No, I don't blame him. Listen, you got to get in where you fit in. It's hard enough to, we have plenty of booze in the comics world, and they'll tell you get a hit, you got to milk it. Because you don't know when the next one's coming. So he went back to the well, not surprisingly. And we have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees Rite of Passage, number 1.
No, Rite of Spring.
Rite of Spring, sorry. Right. My mind always goes to Rite of Passage. Rite of Spring, number 1,
Yep.
correct. Listen, I mean, I don't know that I can say anything about this issue that would be a new take versus what was said on the original series, in that if you found the original series, which was what if there was a very violent serial killer hiding inside of a Richard Scarry children's book, if that worked for you, and it really worked for me and many others, then this is more of that. If any aspect of the original series didn't work for you, which I think is where Vince sits with it, then this is more of that. You're not going to enjoy it. Like, it's pretty. This is a pretty linear decision tree.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the first series, you will love this issue. If you did not enjoy the first series, you shouldn't bother reading this issue. And that's where we're at.
I love the drawing of the duck. That poor little bastard duck. That's a good drawing. That's a very good drawing. I like that.
We saw
vivisected duck body.
Yes.
We saw his demise in the first series, and the duck plays a part. The duck's death basically is where we spring out from.
Is Homegirl bald, or is it white hair? I can't tell.
His sister.
Yeah, is the sister got like a Friar Tuck?
Oh no, I think that's just the lighting. No, I think that's just the. I don't think
that's a poor choice on his part.
It
makes
is.
her look like she's got a Friar Tuck situation, but
yes, it does make it look that way. But no, I think that's
hot,
or at least should be.
Nothing hot about a Friar Tuck, dude. There's nothing hot. Like a dude with the Friar Tuck is unattractive. A woman with the Friar Tuck is fucking like next level unattractive.
Maybe you shouldn't wear the bowler so much.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But yeah, it basically it takes place shortly after the original series, and I was pretty much that first page kind of hooks you, especially if you read the first series. But yeah, I didn't. I liked it a lot, and we and it does, of course, circle back to we do see Sam. But what I like about it is that we don't get smacked in the face with Sam from the first series right away, and I like the build up, and it's going to be, and when we do see Sam, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I I have an idea. Of course, anybody reading it's going to have an idea about where it's probably going to go, but I'm along for the ride to see how it plays out. But yeah, this was and it made sense. It's a follow up that actually kind of that absolutely works in this world. You know, because if Samantha's going to go around killing all these people, and anybody, spoilers for anybody who didn't read the first series, she works outside. She doesn't shoot where she eats. She'll find somebody somewhere else, not in her hometown, not in her city. So she'll travel elsewhere to do her killings. And if you've been doing it a while, you're going to leave behind survivors and family members and the like. So obviously that's going to be a thread that's going to be pulled at, and I think Patrick made a really good decision by introducing new characters and starting this story this way. So yeah, it's a from the first issue alone, it's a smart idea. It's a smart follow up, and I'm glad it's back, and yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we're going with it.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. Glad you guys liked it.
I know you do.
I'm glad that you're glad that we.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I appreciate that. You're such an empath.
Oh, believe you me, I am.
So plugged in.
David,
Locked in.
you don't have trouble sleeping, do you?
Not as much these days. No, why?
No, okay. Because if you did, I have a book for you.
What you got?
It's a little thing called The New History of the DC Universe.
Holy shit!
Yeah. If you're having a hard
Wait,
time,
you don't
it is.
you don't want a book being narrated by Barry right off the bat? I didn't finish the first issue yet.
It's so boring. It is so
I know.
boring.
There are certain things I love the idea of it, and DC has had so many reboots and relaunches and changes to the status quo where you kind of maybe need something like this every so often. But I don't want a repeat of what Marvin George did following Crisis, but that made sense and it worked, and just the images with the text pieces, I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah, because you had a bunch of broken pieces at that point. You had to tell everybody how they made sense, how they related, what we did and what we fixed and what we jettisoned that made sense. I don't know who this is supposed to inform, because it just seems like there's not even an index. Maybe there will be in the final volume, but like I think Todd Knock is an interesting addition, because I think his illustrations are good, and they get the job done. But this was just like too much. It was too much, too many words. I just thought it was no, it was a whiff.
Well, here's where it gets interesting. This is a direct. You can draw a line from this back to history of the Marvel Universe,
Right, by Wade and Rodriguez.
yeah, Wade and Javier Rodriguez, absolute Martian Manhunter.
Right.
And that was incredible. I loved that. I loved every piece of it, and in no small part because Javier Rodriguez drew it.
Sure.
And that came out in '99, and it was a 6-issue series, and I thought it was wonderful. So when this was solicited, I thought, well, this is fucking brilliant. Because let's be fair. I mean, there's no one working in comics today that is a truer keeper of the big two history than Wade. I mean, Wade is just that dude.
Agreed.
He's fucking a geek. He's written every character, and he just lives for the continuity. He lives for it. So I thought, okay, I loved History of the Marvel Universe 6 years back. It just makes all the sense in the world that Wade would do it for DC as well, because he's done as much, if not more, DC than he's done Marvel. I also don't disagree with you that like Todd Knock's a fine artist, but for me, and I know you guys are gonna clutch pearls here, I don't need to see Jerry Ordway drawing stuff in 2025.
I'm out. The nice people.
Right, there you go.
I don't need it.
Yeah, no. Now you're just talking crazy talk.
I thought this book, like, I opened up the book and there's Barry sitting there drinking coffee at his laptop, talking about how, like, I need to chronicle this because I've seen more of the multiverse than anyone. I need to chronicle it, and I'm thinking, like, the fuck? Like, when did my guy become the fucking watcher, the historian? Like, what? Like, when is this like?
Okay, I was cool. I was thinking, okay, cool. Why aren't you dead? Like, why?
I was like, no. I'm like, all right, Wade. You gonna do your thing. And then, like, we start with, like, the whole, monitor, anti-monitor shit. I'm like, okay, okay. Like, say less, that's good. Like, all right, like, we're gonna go here. But then, like, I mean, like, it just fucking jumps all over the place.
It does.
It just throws shit at the wall. Like, and then we had the fucking New Gods, and then we had the Wild West cat, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, it felt like there was no through line,
right,
at all. And,
that's a very poor representation of the Parliament of Trees, too. I'm just saying.
The what?
The Parliament of Trees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
So I just was left completely cold to this, whereas I thought the History of the Marvel Universe was just a wonderful experience.
I agree with you. There's no cohesion. The Marvel Universe one felt like we were being escorted by a guide that knew everything. And
remember, the whole narrative was it had the whole galactic, like it started with the idea that Galactus was the last, being from the last version of the universe, and then and then by the end of that 6 issues, we find out who's the last survivor of this version of the universe, and like I just there was a narrative structure that really worked for me. Yeah,
I think, I don't know, who am I to say. But I think starting off with Eclipso and the New Gods and the Green Lantern Corps, and then you're going to the Mystery Men. You know what I mean? And the JSA, like and Blackhawk. It's strange. So you're technologically superior, and then you're dumbing it down when the JSA.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Strange, yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. I got to say, if Somni drew the whole thing, that'd be a different story.
Oh, definitely. And exactly. I mean, I took the shot on Ordway just to get under your guys' skin, but like Ordway and Knock are obviously more than competent. But it just, again, even having 2 artists, even though they're like, it just felt more like Ohatmu, which again is fine. I love. I mean, obviously I love Ohatmu too. But, like, I mean...
Just look at the cover. What could have been.
Right, yeah. Yes. And I'm a little taken aback by some of the choices, because you're giving Nock all the World War II characters. You're giving him the Guardian. You're giving him the Uncle Sam. You're giving him all the Justice Side. That's Ordway's bread and butter. Why isn't?
Yeah, I don't think they were. Somebody wasn't thinking when they were doling out the pages on this, because it's just like, let's give Ordway per Degaton. Like, he probably looked at that. They say, "Fuck, I got per Degaton. What is this?"
But listen, it can't be all bad, because we got a full page of Vandal Savage.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I'm gonna wipe my ass for that page. Oh boy. Yeah, I found more usable stuff in the back matter.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Whatevs. All right.
And the back matter reminds me of the old Marvel saga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Wow, he's yawning. We keeping you up there, kid?
You were talking about new history of the DC Universe.
Keep me up. Yeah, we started talking about DC Universe. I was like, oh.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening. We hope you come back next time. Remember, you don't want to pay a whole lot for your books. Your OGNs, your trade paperbacks, your manga, your omnibus editions. Where do you go? Where they strive to keep the prices low? CheapGraphicNovels.com. listen to the beginning of the episode again. We'll fill you in on it. Please leave us a review wherever you heard this. And do us a solid. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/11 o'clock comics. We would love to have you as a member of the family and say your name at the beginning of an episode. You get a hug, you get a kiss, you get some sandwiches. As promised.
Get a reach around? Who knows?
Yeah. As promised. Remember last episode I said I was going to do another PS art book?
Yes.
This is called Harvey Horrors. It's the Collected Black Cat Mystery Volume 4. Now, you're wondering, I know you're wondering why the hell did you not do volumes 1 to 3? Why are you just heading right straight to number 4? Because number 4 is noteworthy because it contains a reprint of Black Cat number 50. Why is that important? Have you guys, well, I know you've seen it, so I will refresh your memories. Black Cat number 50 is one of the most infamous comic covers ever created. In the gross out department, it outdoes EC Comics. This is more disgusting than almost anything published by Warren magazines. I will describe it to you, and you'll be like, oh, I know what you're talking about. For some reason, the man on the cover was sucking on a tube of radium like it was a cigarette. And his face is disintegrating from the nose down. You've seen the cover. Shocking horror radiates from white heat. His teeth are falling out. The skin is falling off his hands. His nose is almost completely gone. His jaw is separating from his face. Have you seen this cover?
Had to have.
Are you kidding me? It is one of the most powerful, just transgressive covers ever on a comic book.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. Okay,
yeah. And it boggles my mind that it came out of Harvey Comics, one of the most kid-friendly comics companies on the planet. This is like what, 1954. So same year as Mr. Wertham did his thing. The writing was on the wall when these were being published. So it wasn't long before everything changed. A couple months. So this is the cover art was done, as are all these covers in this volume, by Lee Elias, and it is just a magnificent freaking cover. I have a shirt with that on it. I would love to have a giant print of it. I would put it on my wall and disgust everybody that comes into eyeshot. Yeah. It is just a brilliant look at the terror in his eyes.
The original art sold a year ago this week at Heritage for $840,000.
It's a very important cover. Why my dude is sucking on a tube of radium, I don't know. Maybe he thought it was a battery and he likes to suck on it. I just don't know. And who really cares why he's doing it? The fact of the matter is, dude's falling apart. And it's brilliant. But that's not all. There's a silly story in here called Punch and Rudy. Yeah. We understand what Punch and Judy is. But I'm almost sure that anyone not born in 1990 and up knows what Punch and Judy is. But the writer of this story is unknown. And the art is by Mort Meskin. Mort Meskin. This is a beautiful story. It's very, very quick. You got a boxer named Punchy, and he's dumb as a bag of bricks. But he's got some kind of potential. So his promoter, or his manager, Rudy, keeps lying to him and saying, yeah, you're going to get a shot. Just keep going. Just keep going. But what Punchy doesn't know is that Rudy is betting against him, betting against his own guy, because he knows he's good, but he's not that good. And there's a point in the story where Punchy gets lied to one too many times and uses It's really strange. I checked with the original scans of this book. There's a blank panel. The last 4 pages, the last 4 panels, there's a blank panel mixed in with it. And I'm wondering, did they do that on purpose? Because the comeuppance, Rudy's comeuppance is Punchy uses them as a punching bag. But you don't see, all you see is the rope, and you don't see what's tied to the rope. And Punchy's he's speaking to the punching bag, like, hey, how about that, Rudy? My left hook is really good, huh? And so he's beating the fuck out of Rudy, but you don't see it. And I don't understand why there's a blank panel in the middle of the 2 punching sequences. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But I went to the places that have original scans of these books, and it's the same in every one. There's a blank panel. So I don't know if editorial took out a panel, or if that was just done to pique the reader's interest. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. It's Rudy beating the shit out of a punching bag, and then a blank panel, and then Rudy beating the shit out of a punching bag again. I don't know what the purpose of it is, but it's disconcerting to say the least. Like, what happened in that panel? Did we actually see Rudy hanging from the rope? I don't know. But Mort Meskin is a brilliant draftsman. The facial features in this, holy shit. Just get the book just for the story. Because it's worth it. It is Black Cat Mystery Volume 4 from the PS Artbooks. Worth their weight in gold. Say it all the time because it's true. Pre-code horror, yo.
Yo. Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mark Waid, he is currently writing Action Comics, and that is going in slightly a different direction than the main line, than the main Superman title. And then, of course, you've also got Superman Unlimited. But Action Comics by Mark Waid and Skylar Partridge and Ivan Placencia, Waid is taking us way back to young Clark Kent, and with issue 10, was it 1000? Holy crap! Let me see the issue number on this cover. In the latest volume, yeah. So 1087 in Action Comics 1087, we have Waid is setting up the stage for this new. It's kind of like, it's not really a retcon, but we're getting Clark when he was in Smallville and first using his power, so we're kind of getting a Superboy again, and it starts off by a present day setting with Superman, and he brought some Legion flight rings to the Expo of Tomorrow at the Sun Dome so kids can learn and experience what it's like to fly, and that gives Clark a reason to dwell on the first time he came to Metropolis for the Expo of Tomorrow, and it's a neat little story where, you know, Ma and Pa bring Clark to Metropolis, and of course, you know, he's got to go with his parents, but it's not the end of the world, and Waid writes him like a whiny teenager in spots, and but he's still, you know, raised by his parents, and while he is in Metropolis, the city is attacked by the character named Raze, R-E-Z-E, and he's seen tomorrow, and he's here to educate you, and the future is violent and bloody, and this is no way to live. And so Superboy comes in, kind of saves the day, but not before sort of kind of getting his ass handed to him a little bit, which surprised him because he's never really kind of like bled before, and is able to save the day. But by doing that and making himself known, we have a secret organization. Kind of looks like the Hive, all dressed in gowns and hoods, and they are giving General Lane his orders with a folder with Superboy's photo right on top. And then while the news is talking about the events that happened in Metropolis and how this strange boy in a red and blue costume was rescuing bystanders, the person watching TV in some undisclosed location walks out of his house and is talking to himself, complaining that he wasn't protecting those people, wasn't protecting the bystanders. He was out of control. They were in danger. And he's like, this is unacceptable. This won't do, new boy. And then we see him float away and like towards into the sky and like silhouette in the moon. And so we've been introduced to a couple new characters. I haven't read 1088 yet, so I'm not sure if it's picking up exactly right here or if Wade's going to kind of maybe jump around a little bit in different times in young Clark's life. But I'm not upset by the idea because at least it minimizes the need for crossovers across the Superman line, since they're not all present day. They're not a weekly event right now, so I'm okay with this because they can be separate. And if I'm not feeling a certain story or something, I guess I can kind of skip it. But yeah, this was it's a nice start. It's more Superman thing. So Wade's getting to kind of retcon, redo some early Clark Superboy stories, which is kind of neat. But yeah, In Your Travels, Action Comics by Wade and Partridge.
Alrighty. So Fantagraphics hit another home run with my In Your Travels. But before I talk about how much I love the book, I want to beat whoever writes the back cover solicits about the face and neck.
Wow.
Because
that's violent.
Yeah, it is. I am not a fan of this seemingly requisite elevator pitch that comic solicits do now, where it's like, if you liked X and Y,
hate it.
Right?
It's weak and lazy.
It's so weak, right?
Yeah.
So weak. And in the back of this book, it says, and the Welsh countryside into a historical thriller that reads like The Banshees of Inisherin meets Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, boy.
You can get the fuck out of here with that nonsensical comparison.
I like it. Keep going. Going.
But I shade before I praise, because the person that wrote that back cover solicit is probably some low-level editor in training at Fanta, and they just had a job to do. It is what it is. But the book itself is far, far more of an enjoyable experience. And that is the Idris file. And you remember, at the beginning of the show, it was Idris Elba. Now, this is unrelated, but it is still Idris. It is the same word. Yes, continuity. The Idris file, published by Fantagraphics, written and drawn by Dix. Not Dix in your mouth, not Dix, just Dix. D-I-X. Now, Dix is a Welsh cartoonist. This is his debut solo graphic novel. He did a graphic novel, I also believe, through Fanta called Dull Margaret a few years ago, but that was written by another person, Jim Broadbent. So Dix wrote and drew this. He himself is a Welsh person, and the book takes place in a seaside Welsh village in 1974. Idris is a very quirky, kind of quiet, standoffish, socially awkward, older teenage boy. And Idris and his mother are moving to the seaside town because she's single mom. The father passed away, and she's taken a job as a housekeeper. Like au pair type of situation at for an old eccentric wealthy man in this town to make their living. And it's just odd from jump. like the opening scene is her and the mom and Idris on a train heading to this town, and they're sharing the train car with another woman, and the woman just cannot stop talking about what a fucking freak Idris is, and is there something wrong with him, and what's the matter with him, and all this sort of thing. To which the mom basically blows her off and says, "There's nothing wrong with my boy," and the whole time he's just kind of sitting there, just taking it, like not reacting, not speaking, whatever. But they get to the town, and they meet up with this gentleman who's a wheelchair-bound older gentleman, and he needs a caretaker, and that's what she's there to do. And he's very standoffish. You know, he's like, I'm going to be in my room. You're to bring me my meals in this room, so forth, so on. And because her duties are plenty, I mean, she's got to clean this gigantic house. She's got to cook and clean and all that. Basically, she's like, you know, as our parents did in the 70s, basically said, go out and play, right? Like do you? It's you got to find your, even though it's a new town and a whole new life. It's the summer. You just go find your own way. Like, leave me be. I got shit to do. So Idris starts wandering the village, and he comes across a you know, reasonably cute young lass about his age, hanging out in a church cemetery, just kind of, you know, being the angsty teen, and they strike up a friendship. Turns out though that she can never leave the cemetery because she's a ghost, and Idris sees her and can talk to her, but no one else can. But that's not really the crux. The crux of the story is that we meet a bunch of these older, quirky dudes that live in the town. We've got the man that the mom's caretaking for. We've got a shop owner who's got this really rotund, heavy-set wife who is an absolute freak, and she cuckolds him every chance she gets. And then we meet a third gentleman who's like, he's sort of like a historian, and it turns out that they all basically are. And remember, this is 1974. This book takes place. It turns out they all are ex-Nazi soldiers who are in hiding here in this Welsh town, and they have been working on a plot for 30 years since World War II to rise a sunken Nazi submarine which has cryogenically frozen Nazi soldiers in it to try and retake the world and win the war for Germany. So it goes in these crazy-ass places ways you don't think. And Idris, this strange, quiet boy, is the hero of sorts. And it's just weird and wacky and fascinating and grim and obtuse and just everything. I think when Fantagraphics hits it right, they do it right. And the real lore for me on this, beyond the quirkiness of the story, is that Dix's artwork is very engaging. It's it looks to me a lot like Feral Dalrymple. So if you're a fan of Dalrymple's work, I think you'll really enjoy this. It's even a bit like meltier than Dalrymple, though. Like the characters look just misshapen, you know. They like sunken faces, just sunken eye sockets, droopy. Just almost melty, you know, but it works. It really works, especially given the sullen nature of the story and the sinister nature of it. So I had a blast with this. Didn't know what to expect. You know, this is, as I do often, this is just if Fantagraphics gives me an interesting solicit, I'm willing to take the dive because the track record is so good, and I'm really glad I did on this one. So by all means, if you like World War II crazy, you know, fiction stuff and all that, then check out the Idris File by Dix by Fantagraphics.
How about that?
Yeah.
So in 1974, when Robert and Dandelion are hitting it on the hood of a car, Idris is on the other side of the world saving the place.
Saving the fucking world.
Look at that.
Yep.
Did they plan that? I don't think so.
Never know.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We hope you come back next time. Get yourself to a comic book shop. I don't care. We don't care where. Online, a real thing. Get there and buy some comics and come back and talk about them with us. And say goodnight. I don't have anything queued up because I can't hit mute.
Oh damn.
Yeah, David. That's great.
Hi.
Jesus.
Don to Don season 2, baby.
I tried to watch it and the fucking, you know, when it goes to the commercial first. Well, you don't know that because you paid the other thing. But we have it where it plays a commercial and then it launches into the thing and it knocked me back out. I gotta say,
you can afford the $5 extra a month.
Whatever. I gotta say that for how many millions of houses the Roku devices are in, it is the jankiest hardware on the planet.
Why you got the Roku, dude?
Huh?
Why you got the Roku?
Because I don't have a smart TV down here.
Hey.
What do you care? It's a huge TV. It's just not smart. So I have the fucking Roku on it. Roku.
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 Like it's blue cheese.
Yeah. Gouda.
Eat them.
Roquefort.
Tell them you love them.
Asiago. Love you.
The question is, do you love them?
I do very much.
Right?
Okay.
Why? Do I have to?
You just don't love us. I get
Do
it.
I have to be giddy and act like an idiot? No.
You know, I thought you being a grandpa was going to make you like even sweeter and kinder, but it's sort of put you the other way. I think. I don't know.
Did it though?
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell them good night. Tell them you love them.
I love them, and good night.
Nice.
And make sure you watch Dawn to Dawn. Make sure you go see Superman. Make sure you go see 28 Years Later.
That's it for that one.